Hello again, it is Whitebox here with another game of Spirit Island. I am still nursing my bourbon after a very quick defeat at the hands of Russia 5 with Ocean. So I'm going to go ahead and reset here to another random setup. And I'm going to be playing Shadows with the Reach aspect against level 4 Russia. And we'll see if that can, see if Shadows can handle them a little bit better. The Reach aspect, I don't think I've played with before. It's kind of the noob version of Shadows. It's kind of the beginner one, where once per turn you may ignore range, rather than being able to pay 1 energy to ignore range with any power. So a little bit easier. So I'm going to go ahead and take a shot here and see how Shadows does against those pesky Russian explorers. My initial explorer was in jungle, so I'm going to have to deal with that. So let me go ahead and take a look at my cards here and see what I can do. Okay. So I might have to try to gather this guy out of here just to stop that build, and then I'll be able to deal with this land with the kind of Favors Called Due Concealing Shadows build. So to that end, I think I'll go for 2 card plays. And I'll just kind of spread around a little bit. I realize I'm forgetting a starting town here. Let me go ahead and put that in. Okay. So I'm going to go 3rd growth option here, get 3 energy. Add a presence from bottom. I'm going to throw it in here, just in case they explore there. And then I'll go with Favors Called Due and Mantle of Dread. Okay. So that's going to be my play from the beginning here. Go straight into my fast powers, which I do have Gather 1 from a Sacred Site, which I have right here. And I'm just going to go ahead and target this land. Well, target this land. I'll target this one. Pull him in there. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, that's my fast power. Don't need an event, but I just flip it just to keep my timing down. And then I go straight into the invader phase. So they're going to go ahead and build in jungle, which is just that. And then explore in wetlands. Not one of the ones that I wanted them to go to. I was hoping for sands or mountains, but that's okay. Alright. Okay, so that's their turn. I go into slow powers. I'm going to go ahead and do Mantle of Dread first, I guess, right here. To Fear. Now I'll just push these 2 guys in here. Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's fine. Can deal with that later. And then I'll use Favors Called Due. I'll gather a couple Dahan here. I don't need to gather all of them. So gather up to 4 Dahan. And now if invaders are present and Dahan now outnumber them, which they do, I get 3 more Fear. So that's a Fear card. Probably pay for those powers. It's getting late. Okay, so those are my slow powers. Now I go to turn 2. So I'm going to be using Concealing Shadows in here. Costs 0 energy, so I don't have to worry about energy gain. As far as other stuff, we'd like to try to keep them from getting too much of a presence. But I don't need to go into 3 card plays just yet. That might help. Yeah, because I'll have to reclaim next turn anyway, so that won't really work. So let me go top action here. No, I will go for the 3 card plays, and I'll just get the energy. That way next turn I can play 3 cards and get the second level of this. And when I reclaim, I'll be able to gain a power card, so that's fine. Gain a major, or gain a minor, then next turn I'll gain a major. So I think that's going to work out okay. So let's go ahead and throw this guy in here. Yeah, that's fine. Gain 3 energy. And then play my 2 cards. So I've got Crops, Wither and Fade, and Concealing Shadows. Okay, so first up I have Concealing Shadows. I'm going to use my Reach to go ahead and target this land. Generates 1 fear, and Dahan take no damage from Ravaging Invaders this turn. And then I'll go ahead and use Darkness Swallows the Unwary. I'll go ahead and pull this guy out of here, because that's where the beasts are. So I'm going to target this land. Gather 1 there. That's my innate. Alright. Yeah, that's good. Now I get to an event. Pull together in adversity. For the rest of this turn, ignore Strife on each invader. That's fine. And then invaders blunder on each board, destroy 2 explorers among lands with beasts. Okay. So this guy is destroyed, which just means he gets pushed instead. And that gets me a fear. That's fine. And then Careful Defense when invaders ravage. If the land has Dahan, defend 2. Okay. And then Fear card. Avoid the Dahan. Invaders do not explore into lands with at least 2 Dahan. Alright. And then I go into the Ravage. So right here, that is going to Blight. But the Dahan don't take any damage. And then they'll fight back and kill all of these. So 2 fear for destroying the city. 2. 1 fear for pushing this guy out somewhere. And I'll push him out into the sands. Oh, that's just keeping that out so I can remember. Okay. So that gets me another fear card. Ravage is done. I go into the build. So I'm gonna just build a town up here. And then explore mountains. Alright. I think I can deal with that. Alright, and slow powers here. So I've got Crops, Wither, and Fade. Go ahead and do that here. Replace that town with an explorer. Not great against Russia, but I'll be able to pull that pull one of those explorers out next turn to stop that ravage, so that's okay. And that gets me 2 more fear. Close to Terra level 2 already. Let me fix this, because Terra level 3 does not come before 2. There we go. Easy correction. And this didn't matter, so discard that. Okay, so I get that back. Crops, Wither, and Fade is done. I'm good. So I'm going to Growth, and I'm going to reclaim and I think I will take a Miner, just because I don't have a ton of energy yet. I'm going for card plays so far. Domesticated animals go to Berserk, that's not bad. Fire in the Sky is very good. Wait for what is lost, not too great against Russia, I don't think. And Thriving Choke Fungus, it's okay. So probably Fire in the Sky or Domesticated Animals go Berserk are the plays. And I think I'm liking Domesticated Animals go Berserk. So I'll be able to hit the kicker for that very easily, add more beasts, just a little bit of insurance against Russia. So right now I've got 3 card plays. I've got to get one of these explorers out of this land so that they don't ravage. And then I'll be able to defend it just fine next turn, so that's not an issue. So I could do another Favors Called Due. Yeah, there's some stuff in there. Let's see, this doesn't really help. Alright, so I want to get to the second level of my innate here. That's the important thing. I don't think I can... Well, actually I can, because I can ignore range. So I could do Domestic Animals go Berserk right there, but it probably doesn't matter. I can save that till next turn. So instead, let's go for a Favors Called Due. I'll just kind of set that up. Then I need 2 of my fire ones, so that's going to be Mantle of Dread and Crops Wither and Fade. So close to the max level here, but just not quite there. Okay. So those are going to be my plays. That's all of my energy. Oof. Okay. So yeah, that's a little rough, but we'll see what happens. And then I go into... Then I'll... Okay. Alright, go into fast powers. So let's see what happens here. So my fast powers, all of these are slow, but I do have Darkness Swallows the Unwary at the 1st and 2nd level. So let's see. I think what I'd like to do So I'm going to go ahead and target this land here, gather, then destroy up to 2. So I get 1 fear, 1 gets pushed instead, which is another fear. And I'll push him back into the jungle. I think that's all right. Okay, cool. We'll see how that goes. All right, so now I go to an event. My event here is Seek New Farmland, and each land with 2 or more towns, which is none, so I don't have to worry about that. And then play, and actually I'm pretty close to wiping out all the towns and stuff on the board. I might be able to just win. We'll see what happens with Crops Wither and Fade. Okay, so for I meant plagues bring fear and death, 1 fear per board with disease, doesn't happen. And then engage on their own terms during Ravage to do only 1 damage each, but deal damage before the invaders. So that's not going to happen either. Okay. 2 fear cards. Belief takes root. Defend 2 and all lands with presence. And then trade suffers. Invaders do not build in lands with cities. Doesn't matter either. Okay. So, pretty useful fear cards so far, but that's okay. I'm going to go into a Ravage. They do Ravage in here, which is fine. And the other one's empty. Then they build in mountains. There's A-OK. And then explore into sands. So that's an issue. I've got to deal with that. And the escalation is they get 2 explorers among lands with beasts. So I'll split it up. Okay. Alright, now I go to slow powers, which I have a bunch. So I'm going to go ahead and gather 4 Dahan. Let's see, defend 6 there. Yeah, so let's gather all these Dahan in here. And that's 3 fear. So that already puts me in a Terra level 2. So if I can clear up these 3 towns, then I win. And it'd be nice and fast, and I wouldn't have to worry too much about a scary Russia late game. So that's 1. I have Mantle of Dread. Let's see, I kind of want to just keep those guys there, because I can defend that. So I'll do Crops Wither and Fade up here. With Reach, it's 2 fear. And Mantle of Dread. I will go ahead and push this guy out of there. Gets me another 2 fear. And I'll have 2 fear cards next turn. Okay, then I discard and I'm back to growth. So I have domesticated animals go berserk for this. I can pull a guy out of there. This is an issue, and I don't know that I can do anything about it. But I do have 2 Terra level 2 fear cards. So if I put a presence in there, maybe I'll be able to do something. Even if I lose it, I've got a lot of presence out, so that's okay. So I'm going to go ahead and go... I think I need to start going top. Yeah. Or if I go bottom, no, that'll be too slow. I'll go top. And do I gain a power card or gain 3 energy? I need to gain 3 energy for next turn. Plus an energy for growth here. I only have 2 cards, so I'm going to go ahead and play those. Okay, and let's see what happens. So first things first, I'm going to go ahead and target this land with Domestic Animals Go Berserk. Let's defend 5 and 1 fear. I don't quite have the kicker, so I can't add a beast there, unfortunately. I'm also going to use Darkness Swallows the Unwary, pull a Explorer from that sands over there. And then I'll use Concealing Shadows, doesn't really matter, so I'll just do it here, just in case. Gets me a fear. Okay. Now I'll go to an event, all important. Gradual Corruption. On each board, add 1 Blight to a lane with towns and cities. Spirits may prevent this on any and all boards by paying X energy per board to protect, where X is the number of cards in the invader discard. It's 2. I can afford that, so I'll just do that. And then Fatalities rise in each board. Actually, maybe I can't afford it, but I think it's okay. Fatalities rise in each land with disease. There's no disease, so that's fine. And then Blessings of Bounty and Health. Each spirit may add 1 Dahan to one of its lands with Dahan. Okay, and then all important 2 fear cards. If one of them lets me remove a town, I'll be good to go. Emigration Accelerates. Level 2. Each player removes 1 explorer or town from a coastal land. Nope. Doesn't help me. So let's see. It's removed. So I will go ahead and just remove this. Each player chooses a different land to isolate. Also defend 2 in those lands. So if I had removed the town from this land last turn, using Craps Wither and Die, I would have won here in the fast phase. Unfortunately, I did not, so the game continues. So unfortunately, the Isolate there doesn't really help. I'll just do it. No, it's fine. Yeah, I'll do it here so I can just kill more stuff. No, getting the fear is probably better. So I will isolate this land. Okay. Ravaging Mountains. This one's defended 5. They're doing 6 damage, which is not enough. Kill this town. That's my fear card. Kill 1 explorer. The other explorer gets pushed, which is another fear. Push it over here. This one does Blight. So I steal that, lose a presence, and I go to a Blighted Island, Erosion of Will, immediately 2 fear per player. Each spirit destroys 1 of their presence and loses 1 energy, which is a big deal. I'm not going to be able to get a major. I'll just destroy it there. Okay, that was rough. Now I go to Build in Sands. So I'll build a town here and explore mountains and wetlands. I chose wrong. I had a 50-50 shot at winning this game. I blew it. Would have been a nice tier level 2 victory. I'll go back later and see what my score would have been for that. Okay. So instead, I go to Slow Powers. I had none. So Reclaim. Getting a minor because I'm only going to have 1 energy this turn. I need something free. I do have Growth Through Sacrifice. Might be a little late, but it's probably going to be the play. Because I do only have 1 card that is 0. I've got to give up that Ravage. Got to get a guy out there. Okay. Let's go with let's do it. I'll see. It might be too little too late, but I'm gonna go Growth Through Sacrifice. Okay. I just have 1 energy this turn, but I do have 3 card plays, so I'll play the cards that I can. And then the rest of mine are 1. I need to get one of these out of here. Let's go Crops, Wither, and Fade, and I'll see if I can possibly push it to Terra level 3. Don't know that I'll be able to, but it's worth a shot. Okay, so going into fast powers, I have the second level of this, first and second. I need to gather a guy out of this. So yeah, I'll gather him there. Then I can destroy up to 2, so I will destroy him, which gets me that. I am very close to Terra level 3. And then this guy gets pushed. Push him in there. Got every explorer spread out about as evenly as I can. So that was growth. That was Darkness Swallows the Unwary. I'm going to do growth through sacrifice as well. Targeting myself, so destroy one of my presence. And then I'm going to add a presence to one of my lands. And I'll go for the energy. Well, so if I go down here, next turn I'll be able to get 4 card plays, but that won't help. So yeah, I'll go top track. Okay. And then I have Concealing Shadows as well, just in case something weird happens. I'll go ahead and use that in here. It does get me 1 fear. And that's that. So I'm 3 fear away actually from winning because there's no cities, and in the slow phase I'm going to replace the city with the town. So as long as I get 1 fear, I do win this game, and I might be able to do that in the fast phase. So even though I had a shot at winning last turn, I think I've still got this. We'll see. Alrighty. So next up it goes to an event. Oops. My event here is The World's Vibrance Fades. Remove 1 blight per player from the blight card, returning it to the box. Don't love that. Spirits may prevent 1 blight from being removed by destroying 2 of their presence. Let's see, they're only ravaging once, so I can afford to give that up, just barely. So that should be fine. And then Beast Chase-Offs Homesteaders. On each board, push up to 2 explorers or 1 town from a land with beasts. I don't want to do that because I don't want to push these guys and start a ravage from one of those lands. I guess I could just push them in here because that's ravaging anyway. Stops a build. Because that won't ravage twice, so that's okay. And then Raiding and Retaliation. In each land with towns and cities, 1 damage per Dahan. Then each surviving town and city deals 1 damage to Dahan. So there's no land with towns and cities and Dahan, so that's okay. And then 2 fear cards. Still possible that I win right now. Only 2 towns on the board. Dahan Raid. Each player chooses a different land with Dahan. 1 damage per Dahan there. I'll do that here. So they'll kill 1, the other will get pushed. Actually, do I want to do that? I don't. I can't afford that guy to get pushed anywhere. So I'll do this one, and they don't do anything. Because fortunately, if I push him anywhere, then it's going to start... Oh no, I can push him in here, so I will do that. So, 1 fear. Scapegoats. Each town destroys 1 explorer in its land. And that loses me the game, unfortunately, because of the way that Russia works. Because they're going to... Well, that's very, very unlucky. You know, I've already been unlucky once this game, so... Just because true solo, lots of things that can go wrong. fear card should be beneficial. So I'm going to swap this out for a fear card that's not going to lose me the game. Fear of the Unseen. Each player removes one explorer or town from a land with presence. That's fine. So the reason I did that, just to kind of explain that here, is because if this town destroyed one of its explorers, I would have had to push an explorer in here, which would cause this wetlands to ravage, losing me the game. Or I would have had to push it in here, which would cause a ravage here, again, losing me the game. Fear cards should be beneficial, I know for some situations in True Solo, it's okay to just kind of swap cards out, like with blight cards. If you get one of the 2 blight cards, they suggest swapping that out. I'm gonna swap out a fear card that causes me to lose for one that doesn't, just because that makes sense to me. So that's that. And it didn't say may, it said destroys, so that's why I'm not doing that fear card. Okay. So now I go to the Ravage. They're going to go ahead and Ravage in Sands, which is just here. None of the other lands have 3 or more explorers, so that's okay. And then build in Mountains and Wetlands. So they'll build there and there. Exploring Coastal. So at this point, I have to win the fast phase next turn, otherwise I lose. Technically, already lost, but I'm not going to accept that. So if I don't win in the fast phase, I lose this game. And that's okay, because all I need is to turn this city into a town, and I win. So I'm going to use Crop's Wither and Fade, which does 2 fear, pushing me into Terror level 3, turn this city using Reach into a town. There are no cities on the board, so I win. So actually, this wasn't as bad as I was expecting. And again, if that fear card had gone through Scapegoats, I would have lost. But again, it's pretty dumb that a fear card, which is supposed to be beneficial, is going to cause you to lose. So that's why I swapped it out. I think that's still okay. So I'm going to go ahead and go with that. So that was a pretty good game. I think that actually may be my first win over level 4 Russia. Doing it with Shadows with Reach is interesting. Reach actually came in handy. I think I used it with Crop's Wither and Fade 3 times. Yeah, it was good. I can't really complain about that. So let me go ahead and score this one up. And see how I did. So rather than Russia 5, which I did last game, this was Russia 4, a little bit easier. Still standard. It was a pretty quick win. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards left in that. And I mean, I almost won a turn ago, so it was almost a very quick win. I had 7 Dahan on the map. 5 Blight. Terror level was 3. 4, 5, 6 lands occupied. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 health worth of invaders. Exact same as last game, interestingly. And that was, I think, around 45 minutes. So that's a nice 59-point game. Probably my highest scoring game with Shadows. And proves that Russia's not as unbeatable as I found. I think my lowest win rates are against France and Russia. France, supposedly, people say is easy. I always seem to lose to the special France victory condition, so I don't know. But France and Russia have been my toughest adversaries. Played a lot against France, haven't played as much against Russia, so I'm going to need to practice that more. just to kind of get ready for pushing for difficulty 6 adversaries. So this was difficulty 4. I had been playing my last couple games against 5s. A little bit easier for sure. But it's nice to kind of get a win against Russia with that. So I'll probably throw both these games, my loss against Russia 5 and this win against Russia 4, up on the YouTubes. If you're watching, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm working really hard to get up to difficulty 6. So if you've been watching with me and following on this journey, I'm going to be there soon in these true solo games. Eventually I think I'll have more time and I can go back to do handed games, and those will be fun. But for now, pushing true solo has been a lot of fun, and yeah, we'll see what happens from here. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.